Hi, I'm Jenny Fish with One Big Happy Yarn Company, and welcome to our Don't Gauge Me Shawl Knit Along. I'm super excited about this fast, quick, easy, super simple shawl project. It has an amazing drape when it's done, and the color fades are fantastic. To get those color fades, we have to talk about our supplies. In the pattern, there's two different basically patterns for this shawl. One is using a DK weight yarn, which we have over here with this Monos Silk Blend, which I absolutely love it. And then the other one is called a sock weight version, and that we used Malabrigo, and then we used two of these Universal Yarn mini skeins of sock yarn. And the idea is we're going to fade into each other. So that is the yarn. There's a sock weight version and a DK weight version. You'll have your options in the kits at onebighappy.com. You can choose which kit you want based on the colors and the weight. And then that kit will have the pattern and then the yarn for the weight that you selected when you selected the kit. We're using two different size knitting needles, a US size 4 circular, and you'll want a long cord on that. I've got a 32-inch here. You could do 40 because this project is going to grow as you go. And then optional, but I put it as a supply, is a US size 13 knitting needle. And that's for binding off at the end. It's a very large barrel needle to help get everything where it's going. It's a little bit of a surprise. It's a little bit of a fun technique. The other, you do need a locking stitch marker, highly recommended. And then another option is an additional ring stitch marker. Tape measure, we really don't need it for this one. Row counter, maybe, but not as important. Scissors, yes, we will need those. Tapestry needle, yes, we will need that. Okay, so I do want to show you something to give you an idea of how large this shawl is. Here is my color A, and there's going to be a lot of color A because you're starting right here with 3 stitches, and then you're increasing all on one side. This side doesn't get any increases. This side gets increases. And then we're going to fade into a back and forth between A and B. Then we go a little further. We drop off A. We just go for B. And then we go from B to C all the way to C and fade. So we've faded between these colors. See how beautiful they mix together? Oh, I love this. Okay, so that's on the DK version. There's a slight variation on the sock weight version, and that'll be in your pattern, and I'll also explain that as I go along. Okay, so now we're going to cast on with color A, and you can pick whichever you want color A to be. It does need to be one of the solids because we're saving color B to be our multicolor. Okay, cast on 3 stitches. Use whatever cast on method that you want. I'm going to go back to my standard long tail cast on. My slip knot counts as 1 stitch, and then 1 and 2. So now I have 3. That is the cast on. Row 1, we're going to do an increase. Knit 1. And then we're going to knit front back into the next stitch, which is called a KFB. Knit into the front of the stitch, keep the stitch on the left needle, swing around, knit through the back of that stitch. Now you can pull it off. You've turned 1 stitch into 2, and then knit the last one. So now you've gone from 3 to 4 stitches. Right here, before we go any further, this is not normal. This is a tip or a trick. You don't have to do this, but this is what I do, is I put a locking stitch marker underneath that last stitch right there. Let me show you. This is the last stitch I just knit. I'm going to stick my locking stitch marker right through here. And the reason for that is I'm only doing increases on one side of my work, And by sticking this locking stitch marker in here, I'm not going to be flying, it's not going to be flying off the edge of my needle. It's stuck into my fabric, but I know when I get to that side, that's the side that does the increase. Do it the first time around, because if you think, oh, I'll get it the next time when there's a little bit more fabric, you'll forget, and then you'll be like 7, 8 rows in and go, uh-oh, which side is it? Just do it now. Stick that in there. Now, oh, but don't stick it around your yarn. That's easily fixed. Okay, so now we're on row 2. Simple knit all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now, turn again. From here on out, everything's going to be the same. You're going to knit all the way to 1 stitch left, all the way to the last stitch, but don't knit that last, or all the way to the last, the stitch before last. You're going to knit all the way to the stitch before last, so there's 2 stitches left. In the second to the last stitch, you're going to do that same increase, KFB, knit through the front, come around, and knit through the back, and then knit that last stitch. And then turn back around. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm on the back side, so now I'm just going to knit all the way across, and then I'm going to show you another tip to help keep you on track, because this is so simple that you can go into autopilot so fast, and then, oopsie, you'll forget this. Okay, that was knit all the way across. Now, I'm going to move my locking stitch marker up because I have a little bit more fabric. So I know this is the side that I'm going to be doing the increase on. Another little trick that I've done is I'm going to knit 2 stitches over here. Now this is the side that does not get the increases. I knit 2 stitches. I'm going to slide my ring stitch marker and then knit 1. Okay, I've got 2 stitches left. It's time to do my increase. Knit through the front, come around and knit through the back, and then knit that 1 stitch. Now the reason why I put this other stitch marker on this side, 2 stitches, now I know every time I look down at my work, there should only be 2 stitches after that stitch marker, or before, depending on which side. There's only 2 stitches. If you look down and you have 3, then you know that, oops, I did my increase on the wrong side. It's just a trick of the mind for when you go into autopilot. The locking stitch marker is your increase side. The ring marker, you only want 2 stitches, and don't increase on that side. So continue on, follow your pattern. It'll tell you how many rows you're going to continue on, and then we're going to start color B, and this is going to be our color changing color. I need to knit back around because we start the new color on the right side of the work. So I'm just going to knit these few little stitches here and then show you how to incorporate a new color. Okay, so you'll have a much bigger section you saw in this shawl. You're going to keep going and going and going until the pattern tells you it's time. And basically 3/4 of the ball of yarn. I did a lot of math to figure this out for you guys, so just trust the pattern. There was a lot of brain that went into that. Okay, now I'm ready to incorporate a new color, and I'm going with my multicolor. And I simply just make a loop. I've stuck my needle into that first stitch right there. I make my loop, wrap it around, and knit. Now that first stitch gets a little loose and wonky. Just tug on your tail a little bit to tighten that up and get your tension back. We'll weave that end in later after everything. Then I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I'm on the side that has my locking stitch marker. So this is the side I'm going to do that increase. Knit through the front, come around, knit through the back, slide that off. Keep going back and forth. The pattern will tell you when you're going to change your colors. Now I have a little sample here where I have knit up some of the color changes. And you can see where we started with A, moved into B, moved into C. That's the fade. Now, you're looking at this and you're going, I'm using a size 4. These are such teeny, tiny little stitches. How did this gigantic shawl come from this? I mean, look at this. Look how big these stitches are compared to this that we just knit. Look at that. It's all in the bind off. It's all in the bind off, and I will show you how to do that right now. So we are going to bind off using a size 13. And the bind off is called a magic drop bind off. What that means is I'm using this very large knitting needle to work my bind off. You knit into that first stitch, just like that, and then you drop the next one. Okay, this is knitter's choice right here, because I actually liked to knit the first 2 stitches before I start the magic drop bind off. And the reason is because I like to have that edge have a little bit more structure. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But you could start the drop right then if you wanted to. Okay, so lift that up and over. Now, this is the magic drop. It's really complicated, like crazy complicated. That's it. You just slip that stitch off and then you let it drop all the way down. Then you knit the next one, lift it up and over to bind off, and then the next one you do the same thing. Drop, let it fall down. Knit the next one. And then drop. I'm going to go all the way across all of my stitches. Now you'll have several more stitches because yours will be bigger, but you just repeat all the way across. So I've gone ahead and I've done the magic drop bind off. I want to just take a moment here to take a look at this. See how this is like a perfect triangle. Let's just take a little measure. Let's go across this way. So we're at 7.5 inches on my little sample. Watch what happens. Once you've dropped those stitches, you just yank, 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 yank. Take out your aggression, take out your frustration. Basically what I'm doing is I'm tugging on the fabric so those stitches will drop all the way down. Look at that. Oh, let's take this out. And we let those stitches drop all the way down. And you're going to be doing this on a much bigger scale when your shawl is finished. And also, too, this is why I suggest waiting until after this point before you block or weave in your ends. Because if you had weaved in your ends before you did this, well, it would stop the drop. And we don't want to stop the drop. We want to keep on dropping. Okay, I'm almost there. Look at it already growing. Now imagine this so many times bigger. And it gives it a larger gauge. I titled it Don't Gauge Me because we're not going to do a gauge swatch on this. We're not going to worry about our gauge. It's going to end up being whatever size it ends up being. And we've just knit the fades in and out to have that color change, to give us a little dimension to our project, some motion. Okay, I am almost done. I have just got down here just a few little, I think I've got them all now. Double check. And now when I block this, it's going to be this shape. Before it was like a perfect triangle. Now it's turned into a piece of pie. And now we went from 7.5 to 10.5. That's how much it grew, just this little swatch. So imagine how your shawl is going to look. But that is the Don't Gauge Me shawl using the Magic Drop Bind Off. So thank you for joining me for the knit along. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something new, and had a little fun with the project. And Don't forget to pick up a kit at onebighappy.com. Pick out your yarn. It'll come with the pattern. You'll be good to go. Thank you so much and happy knitting.